Good evening, everybody. I am Carla Christopher, the host of Culture in Maine, York's weekly cultural showcase, where every week we bring you the very best of what's going on in the arts and culture community in York County. And this week we have an awesome and exciting episode for you as always. We're going to be joined by singer-songwriter Carolyn Rose. She is an impressive young voice that has been taking over York by storm, and we managed to get her right before she leaves for California so that she can go take York's fame and spread it across the country. We also have one of our fabulous emerging artists because we love to spotlight what's up and coming and what the young people are doing that's positive. And Lexi Spino, she's a wonderful poet and an incredibly sweet and exciting person. And her art, it's going to blow your mind. And then we also have to bring you some spoken word. P.S.Y.C.H.O, the spoken word artist. What? No. Pursuing success, yet choosing honorable outcomes. He's motivational, he's inspirational, and he is wicked talented. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the art and culture coming at you this week on Culture in Maine. Carolyn Rose, she's been performing everything from Christmas Day right outside during the turkey trot at Thanksgiving. She is in it and excited and enthusiastic about being part of York's art scene. And she's also about to leave town, which meant I had to get her here to talk to her and to get everyone to hear her music because her CD is on the way before she leaves. So let's enjoy some of Carolyn Rose's musical stylings so that we can all know exactly how much we're going to miss her and how excited we're going to be when she gets back. Check out Carolyn Rose.
Don't need to hide. My arms are open wide to take you from the darkness that is drowning in your head. My life may be short, so please remember what I said. You fill my head with the sky of light, shining bright. Though I felt dead, you picked me off the ground, got rid of my frown, 'cause you spoke with a sweet tone. I'll never be alone. I can feel it in my bones, the comfort of your soul. Has anybody told you that you're beautiful inside? You don't need to hide. My arms are open wide to take you from the darkness that is drowning in your head. My life may be short, so please remember And has anybody told you that you're beautiful inside? You don't need to hide. My arms are open wide to take you from the darkness that is drowning in your head. My life may be short, so please remember what I said. Whoa, please remember what I said. Whoa, please remember what I said. Has anybody told you that you're beautiful inside? You don't need to hide. My arms are open wide. That was my single, The Comfort of Your Soul, available for purchase on iTunes now.
And I'm here with the beautiful songstress, singer and songwriter actually, Caroline Rose. Now you are like the interview that I just had to make happen because you are actually about to not be in York anymore.
Yes.
Because you're going off on like the most exciting adventure a musician can possibly go on besides like headlining at a concert hall in Paris maybe.
Yeah.
So what's coming up? What's coming up for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's no big deal, I guess, but
No big deal.
I'm going to the Musicians Institute on Hollywood Boulevard in sunny LA. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
So you are getting ready to continue studying music. Now, a lot of our musicians and instrumentalists that come on the show are very self-taught or very committed to being independent.
Absolutely.
What's made you decide that you're going to switch over from a more independent scene to going for more schooling and training? What's that going to do for you?
Well, to be in Hollywood, in the environment where there's so many opportunities and instructors that are in the music industry that can really help me take my career to the next step. Right. And as much as I love the scene here in York, it's not the place for me to keep growing as much as I want to.
Okay.
So.
Fair enough. So why not just go out there and get an agent and be playing on street corners? Why school?
Well, I think a degree is important to have. And although in the music industry you don't necessarily need a degree, for me it's important to get that piece of paper. It shows that I worked really hard and deserved it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. There is definitely something for that. But now you work very hard in your crafting because you not only play and sing and also write your own music. And I love just the positivity.
Thank you.
In your messages. Is that something, that's just what naturally comes out? Or did you make a conscious commitment to, this is what I want to write about, these are the topics and the messages I want to give people with my music?
Right. Well, I actually, I battled bipolar disorder, and I started writing my songs more seriously, like the ones I just played, because I was really struggling with it. And this was my way of channeling all this energy and making something positive. So I realized it was my true calling to keep writing music during my hardships. And that's what really inspired me to release the song on iTunes and to study at the Musicians Institute.
So how has the response been, like, since you've been putting your stuff out there in public? I know you were recently at Sabrina Duke's Singing for Survivors benefit, which was such a moving, special night. So how have people, now that you've been putting your work out there more actively, responding to you?
It's all been positive, and people just say it's inspiring how, I kind of started from nothing, and now I'm kind of doing more.
Started from the bottom,
but now we're here.
I had to.
Oh,
okay,
I know.
Go on.
I know. That's the motto of the Drake. Okay.
That's the motto of pretty much almost every musician, unless you're, Justin Bieber YouTube sensation. Although, do you know, I just found out that like these spontaneous, I recorded my YouTube video at home, are fake. Like most of them actually are produced, and they go and pay people to make their YouTube video for them so they can get discovered.
That's why I don't have a YouTube channel yet, because anybody can make one, and it's kind of, I don't know.
So you're picking your outlets.
Picking the outlets. I'll get there soon enough.
That's awesome. So how is it in terms of having to put yourself out there and be really vulnerable when you do battle bipolar disorder and you have those days where you're feeling really optimistic and positive and loving what you're accomplishing with your work, but then those other days where it's just a struggle to keep finding the meaning in going and doing this every day. How do you write and create and perform and deal with the public when you're in that mental space?
Right, well, it's definitely a challenge, but I like to think it makes me a stronger person. But when I'm feeling, really depressed or really manic, I try to just take all the energy and just write. Sometimes I just write and it doesn't mean anything. I just keep writing words. But then sometimes when I'm done writing pages, I just look at one line. And that line rings a bell, and then I can just write a song from that line. It's really cool.
That.
Yeah.
So you just have like the file that you can go back to when you're ready. So how did you start creating songs and pieces of music?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been involved with theater and music pretty much since I was a young girl, but I didn't really have the confidence to write my own songs because, like you said, it's very vulnerable to put yourself out there. So I was actually hospitalized this past April and May, and when I was in the hospital for the bipolar disorder, I had so much time on my hands, and I just started writing. So ever since then, I've just been writing every day, and it's been such a positive thing. And so I'm open about this because I want to inspire other people who may be struggling.
I love it. Well, good luck to you
Thank you
in
so
LA.
much.
I can't wait to turn on my TV and to get to see you and to see your fans. That's what I really want to see. The people that say, I was struggling and I was feeling down and I put in my Caroline Rose CD and it helped me get through it.
That's really touching.
I think it's coming. It's coming. So go and get the download. Yay. Get the download. There'll be more downloads coming. And Culture in Maine and all of York is so excited that you were here for our scene, and we wish you luck.
Thank you for having me.
Next song I'm going to do is a song I also wrote called We Shared a Moment. Start of a new day, he's laying in my way. With my lips I beg stay, he says hello. Though I've been here before, he's making me crave more. Every touch I adore, I could soar. Told myself I wouldn't fall again, but he makes me feel I can breathe again. Hope I stay around, or at least he won't forget this moment. We shared our moment. I never thought I would write We shared our moment, and thank you.
Lexi Spino, she traveled a difficult road to become the young lady that she is today. But right now, she's an incredible artist, an inspirational poet, and a really impressive young voice who's a great activist and motivator for never giving up on your dreams, never letting despair take you down, and for always using creativity to find a way to a brighter tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, please be inspired along with me with Lexi Spino.
And this is called The Beginning of My Soul's End. Dark shadows always surround you. I was distracted when you yelled my name and snapped me back into reality. Sorry, what was the question again? Every time you open your mouth, I find it hard to concentrate on anything else but the lies and games you spew out like venom. Again, you yell my name. This time, I remember the question, I just don't have an answer. Not one you will like anyway. So I catch your eye. And for a minute, that silent conversation is the loudest one we've had all week. And those shadows become thicker, their presence more apparent. I take a step back. And although nothing really happened, everything happened. In just that 1 minute, you lost me.
I'm here with emerging artist Lexi Spino, who is not going to be emerging for very long, obviously with talent like that, and with a new book coming out very soon, within the next few months. She's going to be an official artist all in her own right, probably sooner than the rest of us think. So congratulations on making the leap to the big league, sister.
Oh, thank you.
And you're actually about to be leaping all over the state to whole different places and doing all different kinds of things.
Chicago in July. Hopefully, that's still the plan.
Chicago in July is the plan.
Is the plan.
She speaks with the voice of someone who knows that the future can change on a dime.
Yes. No, I was really excited. I went to visit in September, and Chicago's just, it's gorgeous. And
beautiful architecture, beautiful
yes,
buildings.
I could spend all day in the art museums there. It's just, and the people there are just really nice, so much like culture and like different things to take in, and I just fell in love. It felt like home from the second I stepped in. So.
That's a good feeling. And you're not just a poet. You are very much a multi-genre artist.
Yes. I've been writing poetry ever since I was a little kid. As far as I can remember, I still pull out papers from when I was like 6 of like a poem called like Ribbons. It's like, but yeah, I've been a dancer. I've done like theater stuff, and you know, I write a lot. I'm working on a novel right now, actually, and I got movie script ideas, and I had this little short children's series that I did, and
wow.
We'll see if it ever gets anywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, to have that many ideas and just that much inspiration is awesome.
It gets a little overwhelming sometimes and frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's nice, it is.
Do you find you struggle with that a lot, just finding the balance of, I've got all these ideas and all these ways to express myself, it just becomes a little much?
Yeah, definitely. And then like sometimes when like you have too much going on, that where you try to sit down and work on one thing, it doesn't work, and you're just sitting there for like an hour and maybe you got like one sentence written down, and you're just like, really?
I really just spent all this time here and that's it.
All I have is the dog barked quietly. That doesn't even make any sense. Like,
damn it. So what made you actually decide to start writing and creating poetry so early? I mean, you get a lot of hints of in your writing that it was sort of an escape for you or a therapeutic exercise dealing with what you were going through.
I mean, like I said, like I've done it ever since I was a little kid. I was a very like detailed, like oriented kid. Like I paid attention to my surroundings all the time. So I think that's what brought out the writer in me, because I was constantly watching. So like I constantly, you know what I mean? Like I had all these different like views and things going through my head, especially like we took a lot of road trips. So watching, like I write a lot about nature, and I think that's what that comes from. Actually, a lot of my older poems have to do with nature, and I've been out in nature a lot, so I think that's a huge inspiration. But I think around the time that I was like 12, 13, it actually became more of a therapeutic thing. My parents got divorced when I was 8, and that started like my depression issues. And it was something that I hid from everybody for the longest time and tried to work out on my own. And like I would go to school and I would hang out with family, and it was kind of like I put on like this kind of act almost, like I was that goofy, like always like smiling, like cheerful, energized person. And then like at night I'd be alone in my room blaring my emo music, bawling my eyes out on the floor. And so like, and
that
like
emo phase.
Yeah, like, and I think that's where like my writing actually like started to become therapeutic, was because there was a side of me that like nobody really knew. And so like my notebooks knew it. You know what I mean? Like I could be that person in my journals and in my notebooks and stuff, and I kind of just brought that out. And
Why hide?
I guess like I didn't want to burden anybody. I think that's what it was. Like I really just did not want to put my problems on other people. I'm the type of person throughout my whole life where I put everybody else before me. So it took me a really long time to get to the point where like it's okay to focus on you a little bit too. And I think that's where I am right now.
So that's what allowed you to start sharing some of your poetry and to start sharing your creativity with the world, or it just, you'd been holding it in for too long, it just had to come out?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like there's the part of me that like wants to share it because like I'm starting to realize there's actually a lot more people like me than I originally like thought. Yeah. A lot of messed up people out there. No.
It's true. It's a rough world. It's a rough world.
No, and then there's like there's the part of me that wants to like reach out and touch people and let other people know who are struggling with the same type of thing that I was, like not wanting to share that because of burdening or feeling alone and everything, and be like, no, like there really are other people out there who will understand you. Like even though they don't necessarily have like gone through the same stuff as you and don't necessarily know exactly how your mind works, they still understand where you're coming from. You know what I mean? Like they know what that's like. So like don't be afraid to kind of like be like, okay, like this is part of who I am, kind of thing.
Got it.
And then there's the other side of me that just really likes, you know, performing. And
I've heard many people say once you get used to being on stage and performing, it gets addictive.
It does, and I still get really nervous still to the and it's so funny because like I said, I'm a dancer. I've done so many dance shows and recitals and everything, and still when I get on stage, every single time I'm like, oh my God.
Does it feel different being on stage as a poet than it does being on stage as a dancer?
It does.
Or theater?
It really is, because like it's just so much more personal being a poet. Going up and like with the dance, like you've got the music and a lot of times you got other people with you and everything. Like you go up as a poet, it's complete silence and you're just like bearing your soul in front of all these people, and like some of them you know, and then other people you've never seen before, and you're like talking about, you know, wanting to kill yourself, and you're just looking out at all these people staring at you like,
and then they're coming up afterwards and being like, I was right where you were.
Yeah. And those are
sharing.
really, really good feelings after you perform and somebody comes up and they're just like, I know exactly how you feel. That one poem you read like really got to me. Like those are the moments where I'm like, I'm doing something right.
Do you ever wonder Because a lot of people, when they see how young you are, and especially how young you even look, younger than you actually are some days, and they see you reading and performing, and the work that you do can be very gritty, it can be very personal. They don't even realize that you do actually have a very young daughter.
I do.
At home who's so freaking cute. Oh my goodness.
She is.
Oh,
She's
Nora.
adorable, a little pain in my butt sometimes.
Now, do you ever wonder what she's going to think when she reads your stuff years from now as she gets older?
Sometimes I actually have a poem that I wrote to her that's called From Mother to Daughter that I'm still working on, that's really long and very personal. That's kind of like just ties in everything, like, you know, like the advice that I have to give her, like how I want her to perceive everything, where I'm coming from with everything. If anything, it doesn't bother me, you know, like I would want her to read it, I would want her to ask questions, you know, like I'm the type of person who would be completely honest with her. I want her to know that there are like things like that out there, you know what I mean? Like, and there are people who are gonna go out and like part of their art is to be like, they say like cuss words, they say, you know, like grimy, like to the truth, like raw things, but it's still beautiful, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I don't really know how to explain.
There is beauty in all aspects of the human existence.
Yes.
Not just the pretty, gardeny, flowery ones.
Yeah, I think that's something that's actually really important to me, is I actually want her to know from a young age that not everything about this world is beautiful, but you can find the beautiful within everything. So, and I think that's one of the most important lessons in growing up that you can have.
So you've just gotten your life lessons from Lexi, which, quite frankly, are ones that are worth taking home. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. So this first poem is actually about suicide. A lot of people think that suicide is like selfish and really sad, which like it is. It's a very depressing, hard topic to talk about. But this is kind of written from like the person with the suicidal thoughts, like their perspective on it. So this is called A Form Too Beautiful. Bright, solid gold, deep in my soul. Feeling I know, want it to explode. Set me free, set me free. Paint me red, past is dead. Reviving water I tread, no words said. Set me free, set me free. All is blue, world brand new. Air sticking like glue. Whispers so true. Set me free, set me free. Like a dream. Close my eyes. Set me free.
Now, when I heard that I was going to be interviewing a spoken word artist named P.S.Y.C.H.O, I admit I did not know what to expect, but I was impressed. This is one of the most intelligent, best educated, and incredibly accomplished performers I've come across in a long time. P.S.Y.C.H.O, also known as Shawboy Smallwood, has hundreds, literally hundreds of poems written and memorized. He's a paragon, so just sit back and prepare to be blown away by one of the best spoken word artists in the York scene today.
Rappers glorify about the life I done really been through. So I'm here to tell you the truth, my war wounds, and show you I'm living proof. They couldn't have been the places I've been or seen what I've seen. Heroin wishes mixed with cocaine dreams. Infrared beams from the drug dealers driving the nicest cars, getting eyes from the jakes, only looking out for numero uno, so of course they at odds with the snakes. Innocent bystanders caught in the crossfire, yeah, the streets was cold-hearted. But this is barely the surface, see? I'm just getting started. For that drug power, the hood will rain with slug showers. And your best friend since the age of 10 dies at 22 from double 22s. Mom stricken with grief so she can only blame you. Swear on his grave, we're gonna ride for the team. Next day reveals your little man just died at 16. We live in a war zone. This the other side of Hell's Gates where nightmares are formed. Where courts hand out time like a high school education. So if you don't end up as a corpse, stay in this game. You gonna keep your reservations. Because while you brag about all the money you get, how you just dropped 62 G's on a couple of bricks, for that 2016, you'll be facing 15, accompanied by a few letters from the alphabet, so you better learn algebra quick. Geometric prisms of prisons, because while you cooking chickens in kitchens, DA gearing up to give you long division. You can't subtract those facts. If you did, stop kidding yourself. Go ahead and add those back. Because women switch up like the change in season. You get bad, gold digger taking the change, she leaving. Trading those fancy cars for these fancy bars, them wingtips and three-piece suits for brown shirt, brown pants, and of course, state brown boots. And that's if you don't end up under federal indictment, because a grand jury testimony to United Federal Office will give you a different meaning to a UFO sighting. I swear my story is true. I ain't believe the ones before me. I was just like you. But you'll understand when the BBS's finally come, them bracelets and bars, that is. Ain't nothing you can do in this game that ain't already been done. So I sit back with this fine glass of cognac, close my eyes, and I reminisce. See the lies, but the odds. I wouldn't survive nights like this. You know the ones where gunshots ring out? Sirens blaring in my ear, revealing another teen down? Feeling inside like I might be next. Sometimes it's hard trying to remember to forget. Still, no regrets. I told you when I entered this game, my dad said you either all the way in, you all the way out, because there's no riding the fence. I done witnessed prosecutors surprise the defense to supply the offense just to ride for the fence that left me locked in jail. Kind of a conundrum, ain't it? When my only success was to fail. Oh well. Parallel to the ground, I need to get lateral and elevate before I get stuck. Not to be subtle, but they knew trouble would double if I ever started bubbling up. But still, as I sit back, it wasn't easy surviving nights like that. You know, the ones that relocated my friends to the mortuary, changed my profession to a pallbearer just to walk them in the cemetery. I talk to them, but I don't get a reply. And I don't run from the rain. Nah. That's them crying. That's the way they wash away the tears that I feel inside. My man got shot by the cops when I was 25, and they said that he died by a bullet that was self-inflicted. If you knew it was a lie, tell me how could you really live with it? Because a piece of me died inside from it, as prosecutors supplied summons for testimony just to testify. I detest tests. Still, I reached to the clouds just to test the sky. I'm finally able to say it's stable enough to hold. Tell the homies to climb on up. Don't worry about the heat. I got the top on climate control. My mom asked me when I was 18, was I running or chasing the graves? So I replied yes. Because my only death wish was that I wished death. My desire to retire because I was tired of all that stress. I'm from Y.C. My city wasn't pretty. It was gritty like a war zone. And the hood dwellers was targeted like the Viet-Cong. But I made it out, and still to this day, it's amazing to say, but the truth is I'm proof sometimes the Grand Reaper do miss. And with this picture supplied, the questions still arise. How'd I survive nights like this? Psycho. Welcome with the efforts contemplated. Your inner sanctum get infiltrated by the snakes in the grass in the pursuit of this fast cash. Pass by. Where homicides occur on a daily basis in a man's last breath, and gunshots become a child's lullaby. Welcome to where the thugs hang and the drug dealers peddle. Wait, cause I'm just speaking from your neighborhood's closest ghettos. Where no matter how hot it gets, we always say we chillin', and we don't need dirt roads or dirt bikes for four-wheeling. Nobody's sleeping soundly. We popping willies in the alley by big willies in the Audi. Investing in coke like a mutual fund till a bullet taps his thoughts, leaving his whole future done. Where vests are worn like an extra ligament ever since you seen the first child lose innocence, and guns are carried like an extra leg. Your right hand man Satan, cause your left hand man dead. Your back ain't being watched cause your sister just wed. The man that you rocked See, we all try to get to the top with the coke in the pot. I just thought I'd take a second and welcome you to my block. With kids playing in the streets, tripping over broken dreams, crack smoke clears up to reveal your best friends becoming fiends. Stacking your paper trying to rise that status. See, I shot for the stars, but I got trapped in the attic. To the average, that means a jail cell. Wait, give me a second, because I know the story very well. Baby mom now with the next man, deck stacked against me, but I gotta play the next hand. Wait, I forgot along the way, I never changed hands. Sideline cheerleaders, I still got the same fans. Hopped on the bus with the Grand Reaper, enemies behind the mask of friends like they trick-or-treaters. I never heard the message. I guess I got broken speakers. So understand, don't judge me. Because no matter what happens, I will not stop straight to the top. I just thought I'd take this second. And now I hope y'all comfortable with coming to my block.
I'm here with Shabu Smallwood, also known as P.S.Y.C.H.O. But don't get it twisted. You want to share with the people what P.S.Y.C.H.O. actually stands for?
Pursue success, yet choose honorable outcomes.
I love that. I love that. Now, I'm going to just go right into it because you put it out there in your poetry. Explain to me how a privileged military kid from a successful, time-honored York family goes from brilliance and Ivy League education to the drug game, prison, and then spoken word artist and inspirational speaker.
Well, actually, I didn't make it to the Ivy League schools. I got accepted to a couple, but I never made it actually there. But
okay, yeah,
it was...
you just beat out like 97% of the entire country by that statement alone. So again,
I got greed. Simply put, it was greed. I wanted what I wanted when I wanted it. I had a job, going to school, and still wanted more. So, therefore, when everything went down, I figured, you know what, I can have this if I do this, and I know how to do it. It's not that hard. And I went into the streets, but I served 8 years in the penitentiary. And the first 4 were, well, always in trouble. So, you know, then it was either get my act together and come home or serve the whole 10. And, well, there was some other things that went on along with it. So I was like, you know what, I can't do this. I started shaping up, and I actually got really into my poetry and really into writing. And my sister inspired me, and my dad inspired me, and my mom, and my brother.
So your family stayed involved and stayed excited about you and encouraging you.
Yes. My sister actually was giving me ideas on things to write. Well, why haven't you wrote about this? Why haven't you wrote about that? Well, write about this. And it actually kept me out of trouble. And I mean, you know, if I may say so myself, I'm very profound. You know, I write from a depth that is underneath the graves that they're not supposed to talk about. And I'm going to tell the truth about it. I'm not going to tell you, look, you can go get a Lamborghini. Yeah, you can go get a Lamborghini, but you can also get 20 years in the feds along with a few bullet shots too. Is it really, I mean, you outweigh the risk and the reward. It doesn't amount up.
That's true. So now you have said that you've got over 500 poems.
596.
Good Lord. I wish I could have written 596 poems. I don't think I've got that many, and I've been writing for a lot of years too.
Well, it's what you have to talk about. See, I've been around. I've been around the world. You know, I've been in different situations. I've went through different things. I survived different things than others. And it's how you put it and what you want to talk about. I can talk about politics as quick as I can talk about a drug game. I can talk about succeeding as quick as I can talk about failing. I can talk about how good I am and belittle somebody in words without cursing at them, without using any profound or derogatory language.
That's like some old school, some hip hop battle mentality. And you did say you initially started off, you were going to be a rapper too, huh? You were going to rule that hip hop game.
I started off rapping. 04, 03 when I came back to York from Texas. I was all on the, I'm a rap. Yeah. And then I realized everybody wants to be a rapper. You know, everybody thinks they can rap. And some of these guys just make you want to be like, could you please be quiet? Seriously, all you're talking about is this girl, that girl, this car, that car, this house, that house, this place, that place. You ain't never had this.
Oh, so you felt like poetry offered you the opportunity to go into depth a little bit more, to explore some other topics that maybe the hip-hop game wouldn't be accepting of.
Not only that, because I care what people think about. You can like me, you can hate me. But in the end, you're going to respect me. So it's the fact of, I was like, poetry, first of all, you don't have to abide by the measurements of the song. Second of all, you can sit there and actually go into what you want to talk about. You can delve into this. And on top of it, poetry's not impartial. Like when I started reading Langston Hughes, and I was like, wow. And then I started reading, actually, a lot of people don't understand, Edgar Allan Poe wrote books. Not just poetry, he wrote books too. But in his books were a complicated poetry.
Right, he had a very lyrical flow, as they say, even to his short stories. And
I started noticing a lot of these things. And I realized, there's not enough young men out there who can get a positive message through a song.
True.
So if they can hear something that sounds like a song, but it has a positive message and teaches positive and uses that experience to better their own life, I would rather do that. I have nephews. I don't want to see them go where I've been. I have cousins. I don't want to see them go where I've been.
So having that teaching component and that instructional and inspirational component is key to a lot of what you write.
That's correct, it is. But you also have to understand, you can have street knowledge and you're dangerous in the streets. You can have book knowledge and you can be dangerous in corporate. If you have both, you are dangerous to America.
Everywhere, there you go.
So, therefore, when they hear me speak, I want them to notice, okay, I have a message. Oh, look at his vocabulary. His vocabulary is immaculate. I don't want them to ever think, okay, you a young black man or you a young mixed man and you can't make it nowhere. Because that's bull. Reginald F. Lewis came from Baltimore from a single mother household, living with his grandparents. He has a book called Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? That boy was 5 years old. His granddad came in, said, you won't work there, will you? He said, no, granddad, why should white guys have all the fun? That's what the book is titled. He died worth over $400 million. He was responsible for one of the biggest food corporation buyouts of all time. How come he can do it?
So what's next for P.S.Y.C.H.O? What's next for you?
Well, right now I'm trying to keep everything level. I'm trying to keep everything legal, no matter how much I got to struggle. I want to, progress in my poetry, and hopefully eventually that'll support me and my family and actually give my sister, my mother, my dad, my brother, something to sit there and smile about, like, he went through all of that and now look at him. So that's my ambitions. My ambitions is, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I said happy. They asked me, I didn't understand the question. I said, no, I understand the question. I just want to be happy. I don't care what I am. I don't even want to be famous. I just know one thing. When I perish off this earth, when Allah takes me, they can say one thing. That boy was prolific.
That's right, 596 poems and more coming, I'm sure.
Yes, ma'am.
And more than 200 of them memorized.
Yes, ma'am.
Just through repetition.
Correct.
You are an inspiration. I look forward to the Sha Boy movement coming in and taking over major poetic corporations and publishing companies near me.
Hopefully.
And there'll be a book coming out very soon.
Yes, I'm compiling a book, my first book called The Life. I'm putting it together. I was actually debating about first stating it on CD and selling the CDs first, and then actually putting it into print. I haven't decided which way I'm going to do it yet first.
But the book and the CD, the life is on its way.
Yes, ma'am.
To the world. And that's
life.
what matters. The life is on its way. And people can go and hunt you down on Facebook and be like, look, I need this.
Facebook, Shabu Smallwood.
There you go. Well, thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you. I will see you January 18th at the cafe.
That's right. New Grounds. You'll be there January 18th as part of the Soulful Saturday Spoken Word Showcase.
Yes, ma'am.
So make sure that
feature.
you come and visit us at New Grounds at 324 West Market Street
Yes, ma'am.
in York on the third Saturday of the month to catch more of P.S.Y.C.H.O and his incredible spoken word.
I started getting money at a young age. See, I was trying to get rich quick. You know the story, right? Clothes, kicks, maybe even a crazy whip. But see, then I got my eyesight back on the straight and narrow. Stop worrying about the materialistic things like the latest apparel. Graduating the top 10 percentile of my high school class with a 3.9 GPA. In 360 days, look how my vision changed. Now I'm trying to cop $365K. By the way, ladies love me because I was a polished dude. I consumed knowledge like food. Plus, it ain't hurt that I was college approved. Acceptance letters from the Ivy Leagues, Georgetown, Columbia, Pennsylvania University, for a double major and a minor, but my minor became my major when I ran back to these streets and started chasing after paper. And this is my real life. This is no imagination. Going to school for a double major in psychology and criminal justice with a minor in business administration. In exactly that order, but things got out of order. Now the judge is yelling, order, order. Court's now in session. Lawyers standing behind me like that, a concession, waiting on my confession. My eyes closed, my knees became weak. I knew what he was talking about. You know the rapper Jay-Z? Everything was all good just last week. Bank accounts and large amounts, but that don't account for the reason why I'm standing here looking down at 3 different counts of PWYD. As this becomes my ID, I'm headed upstate with a dude I don't know standing beside me. How did my life turn into such a catastrophe? To tell you the truth, this is never where I plan to be. Where did jail fit into my 5-year plan? Now I'm looking down the barrel at 5 years, man. A nickel to a decade, see, that was my price, all because of my infatuation with the game and wanting to live that life. So this is in case I don't see tomorrow. Understand, today was never promised and yesterday was borrowed. Standing on the corners, I sold suicide to the fiends. I dated life in the day and married death in my dreams. Old heads tried to give me the experiences and pass down their advice. Said, slow down, young man, you only got one chance. Fall back, old head, I'm trying to live life twice. See, the things I've done leave me no reason to brag. I'm trying to hitch a ride with life, but it's moving too fast. I sat at the table, just me, life, and death. Life had a full household raised to bet. I just happened to have a royal flush, so I went all in against death. See, my dad told me when I entered this game, either you all the way in or you all the way out, because there's no riding the fence. Yeah, I understand. Hold on, give me a second, because things are starting to make sense. See, Y.C. raised me, then it forsaked me, but look what it gave me. Tunnel vision so I could think past go. Television trying to tell me no. Politicians lying to me, telling me we ain't got no hope. So to make my own, I chose to move that coat. And understand this is no glorification for the life that I live. Every word that I write, I swear, is more like inspiration to my kids. To help them understand they ain't got to follow in daddy's shoes. They got their whole life ahead of them. With that at stake, then they got a lot to lose. See, Tupac had ambitions as a writer, but I had ambitions for the Prada. My ambitions as a survivor, but my premonitions telling me my ambitions gonna lead me to the fire. And though I'm uncertain what's lurking behind this curtain, take my hand as I guide you through hell. I was raised by the block, baptized by the shells, dressed by the crack, and taught by the coke. You know him? He's the assassinator of dreams, the destroyer of hope. See, hope dissolves in the water just like the coke in the pot. Only difference is, hope don't come back, and coke transforms the rock. And that's what runs in my veins. Not in my veins, but actually in my veins. My family passed it down like it was an heirloom, so what I presume is right, I assume ain't right. But see, all my lefts are starting to turn right. Darkness is starting to turn light. Death is starting to turn life. My dad said when I was born, you could see it was apparent. Keep my ears to the street ground, because when street stories are told, only hustlers hear it. It was apparent by 9 me in the streets was talking about marriage. Ain't no age limit. Half of y'all learned it along the way. It's a trade to y'all. I was actually made in it. So understand, with these street memoirs being done, this is a story of my life just in case tomorrow never comes.
About 2 weeks ago, we visited YorkFest, York's premier juried art festival, and you got to see some of the incredible artists from all over the country that consider York a true art destination. Well, we've got just a few more that we spoke to that I could not let their work go by unseen. So we're going to be taking one more visit to YorkFest Art Festival and enjoying some of the incredible adventures that they provide there every summer. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a little tour of our YorkFest Art Flashback. Now, it's impossible to do anything involving YorkFest without talking to its fearless organizer, Mary April. Now, if you need to know anything about how this massive festival is put together, how it originated, how it became, and what are some of the incredible things that you can find here, Mary's definitely your person to talk to. So tell us how you became involved with YorkFest, and then what you've been doing this year to make it the biggest it's ever been.
I've actually volunteered for YorkFest for many, many years. I live downtown and I love all the events. Last year I was asked to come on board the IO creative team and help organize YorkFest. So last year was sort of my first year sort of at the helm. We have a great team behind us, great staff, all pulled together and trying to make it bigger and better every year.
Earl Mills of Harpers Valley, West Virginia, is one of the photographers who won an award of excellence for his beautiful work this year. Bowers came all the way up here from Georgia, and she did win an award of distinction for her pen and ink drawings. And she's the first to tell anyone, these are not photographs. These are genuine, hand-pre-done drawings. The detail is incredible. Sandra Kay and her incredible glasswork received an award of excellence as well. I'm here with everyone's favorite inclusion in YorkFest, Randy Orwig, the living statue. Now, you've been doing this for years now.
Yes.
I know since I've been in York, I have come and seen you perform and do what you do.
I've been doing YorkFest for at least 10 years.
It's amazing. And everybody still comes and the same little kids are still going, is he real?
Yeah,
is he real?
There are some that came today and said that they saw me when they were 3 or 4 years old, and now they're 13. So they've grown up with me. Yeah, it's great.
So what gave you the idea to start this as your style of performance art?
Well, it's a combination of two things. I was an actor at one time, so I'm familiar with being on stage, and it doesn't bother me to be on stage and have an audience in front of me.
To have an audience that's
right, staring at you.
Right.
And the other thing is, I model for artists for a living.
Holding poses.
And holding a pose. So
Perfect.
you combine holding a pose for maybe 30 minutes, put on theater makeup and a costume,
Theatrical stage makeup.
take it to the street, and that's how I started. Over the years, I've changed costumes, I've changed makeup, and adapted to whatever festival I do. Sometimes I do an agricultural fair, and I don't put on all the gold, I put on a farmer's costume and sit on bales of hay. But I always have with me the dog and the cat.
One of the most prestigious parts of the festival is the fact that awards of distinction are given to the very best artists. Best in show, best new in show, and awards of distinction for just incredible all-around work. Now, it is the year of Pat Sells, and Pat Sells, he happened to win Best in Show. His repurposing of industrial, gritty metal pieces into beautiful works of sculptural art is definitely becoming a trademark of the downtown York scene.
Josie comes so good. She's a pride of the neighborhood. She's a raw thing, alive wire. She prays like a Roman with her eyes on fire.
As always, I thank you so much for being a part of the family here at WRCT and, of course, Culture in Maine. I hope you enjoyed everything you saw, and I want to hear from you. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Culture in Maine. Get all the updates of what we're doing and be able to write to us and let us know what you think and what you'd like to see on the show. We absolutely love to hear from viewers. You can also email us at cultureinmaine@gmail.com. You can log on to WRCT.tv and check out the show's website there. Look at old episodes on YouTube, White Rose Community TV, after youtube.com. Or, as always, you can just come back here right next week, where we will always be Thursdays at 8 and Sundays at 3, and plenty of times in between. The corner of Culture in Maine, always waiting for you. Have a blessed and safe week.